Alright, salutations everyone. This is yours truly, Feniqkuzsu umu, and today we're going to be doing a video that's a little different. This time, it's a series that I want to start doing something more to add to the channel, and since I am part of Battle at the Crossroads, this will be the losers final match between myself and the homie Optimistic Prodigy at Battle at the Crossroads 16, the Bleach Rebirth of Souls tournament. So in this video, you'll be able to see the match in the background, obviously. I'm playing as Yamamoto, the homie OP. He's playing Ichigo Kurosaki. And essentially, I'm just going to be watching, or I should say rewatching, these matches while just giving some commentary, giving some lore and backstory at, stuff that was going on behind the scenes and whatnot. Since earlier I posted Battle at the Crossroads, and honestly, I was supposed to have done this video a while back, but I just barely found the, motivation to get into it. And then the Blaze Blue Grand Finals match will come after this. But anyways, a little bit of backstory to this match. As you can see, OP is just fucking going beast mode here. At this point, OP actually surprised me. Shout out to him, because he actually did really good this fucking tournament. But at this point, he's actually the person that knocked me into losers finals, or the losers bracket I should say, and we had already faced off at this point, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he rocked my shit. If you want to be able to see that match, you can see the full stream of the tournament at Battle at the Crossroads. I remember for whatever reason I tried to grab him and he teched it, but for whatever reason I thought like my grab button wasn't working, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so essentially up to this point, OP has already kicked my ass once, and I've had to climb my way back out of losers finals. And yeah, so this is the match that took place in place of that, and I'll say it got pretty intense. Now the thing about Yamamoto is, prior to this, I had never played this character before. I had never picked him ever, but I know, even though I haven't watched Bleach a lot myself and I'm not well acquainted with the series, I do know that Yamamoto has a reputation within the series of Bleach of being like one of the stronger characters. So in my mind, when I decided to choose him as the next character I would play, I did decide to take a gamble. And I was like, fuck it. I mean, he's considered to be one of the strongest characters within the Bleach universe. So fuck it. I mean, his fighting game counterpart would have to have something, to be fitting of that, I would think. And overall, I do think that the match turned out the way. Dude, his transformation looks fucking wicked. But yeah, no, so at this point, the one thing that I have with a lot of fighting games, I usually choose the female, like the waifu characters, essentially. In this game earlier, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know I picked Rukia. I know I picked, I'm forgetting her name. The ninja. Oh, I'm a fake fan. Oh, why am I blanking out on her name? Oh no, she's in Jump Force. I cannot think of her name at the moment, but I picked a couple of the female characters from this game. I picked some of the espadas as well. Like I said, sorry, I'm not super well versed in Bleach or the characters, but essentially, like I said, no, he kicked my ass. And so it was a risk choosing this character. Right here, you see I'm taking 3 stocks from him. Or life or health bars, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. At this point is when I discover, it's funny because like one of the comments that Warrior says, well, when we're in the character screen is like, oh, like this guy, like he cheeses. He does like a lot of chip damage. And figuring out this part, there we go. Again, right there. Figuring out that was part of the fun for me personally. I'm sure definitely not for OP. But yeah, for me, I was just like, yeah, we'll just have to cheese the boy, in any way possible. Right here, I was trying to be cheeky. I was hoping he didn't guard against that. But even all things considered, like OP was doing like really, really, really well. He was, given that he had to adapt just like I did, obviously adapting to having to learn a character that I had never used, and up to this point I hadn't seen anybody else use. There he is taking some stocks for me. Now I remember when he did this shit right here, I was like, oh, this looks like this is the main character shit. Then I saw him take 5 stocks. I was like, oh damn, if I don't like clutch up, like he's gonna rock my shit right here. But yeah, no, he's so right here. He's just going off. I mean, with the projectiles, but with the flames, I'm like, you know what? I can, I can, frustrate him, you know. And I think it was a learning curve for both of us, like this match. Obviously me learning a character I've never picked, and him having to adapt to a character that he hasn't gone up against at all either. Oh, he could have honestly finished the matchup right here. I think Ace even makes a comment right there, like, oh, he's like playing with his food. And at this point, I was like, nah, man. I was like, you got to be a little more defensive. Right here, he tries to sneak it behind. I was like, you know what? Just overwhelm him in flames. Right here, I was so confident, I'm not going to lie. And then I see the twitching right here. I was like, oh, damn. And the thing about Yamamoto is, like, I don't know if y'all noticed this, with the match that you are watching currently, but every time he does those flames, like, it does do a very considerable amount of damage, but also does damage to myself. As you can see, look at my health. I have a magic pixel. And I think right here, yeah, he finished it off. Honestly, this right here, I'm not gonna lie to myself. Obviously, like, in person, I'm like shitting bricks, right? Because I'm like, fuck. But like, looking back at this, like that transformation, like this is like straight out of the Bleach anime. Like, this shit was just like a really hype, like fun, crazy moment right here. And then I was like, nah, man. At this point, like, I really liked Yamamoto. And I was like, yeah, old man Yama for the win, bro. That's just gonna have to be the strategy. I'm just gonna have to burn and chip this motherfucker. Just do nothing but bird damage. And so we ran it back. And yeah, this tournament was fun because the vast majority of people didn't have a lot of experience with this game. And it being an arena finder. Oh, we paused it right here. Oh, look, baby Phoenix. And we pause it right here, and I believe that I skipped this part a little bit. Yeah, you'll see right here that it's where I skip it. And I remember we stopped because we had ordered pizza, and I will never forget my headspace when we took the break. I've always said this now that the matches have like completed, right? But I do wholeheartedly believe that OP had the momentum. Definitely, right? Because he's already beaten me before. Obviously, he's already won matchup. And in my mind, and I've always said this, now that the tournament's over, I do believe that if we never took this break, that he 100% would have taken the whole match because he had the momentum on his side. When we were taking the break, we're all just chatting it up, just talking and just like friendly banter and stuff. And I remember one of the things that OP said that triggered me. He's like, the thing about Phoenix is, like, when he plays fighting games, he plays real unga boonga. He plays real, like, fast, hard hitting, and he just tries to overwhelm opponents. He doesn't really know how to play defensively or patiently. And so that kind of, I don't know, just kind of struck a nerve with me. So I remember my thought process was like, okay, then that's fine if that's what you believe. But if you want me to slow that again, let me slow it down. Which is funny because now that I'm like rewatching, like, no, I definitely did not. Like, I went straight. But I will say, from this point on, I played a little more cautiously and defensively. At this point, I knew he should kind of figured that I'm gonna start using the flames and whatnot. So it was more a matter of like, okay, guard, find it right there. Find the space, find the opening. Essentially, you could see right there he's throwing projectiles. He's being a little more cautious, but on that same token, so am I. And then I'm realizing, right there, trying to check like the range of the flames, making sure that right there. These I will say I was getting a little bit lucky with those, the flames that are like directly at his face. I didn't realize that even though he's like right up in my face, like it I want to say you have a little bit of a shield, but I could be mistaken. Oh, right there. I was like, all right, cool. We got to end this shit now. This shit needed to end yesterday. And so, damn, But yeah, as you can see, like I'm trying to be a little bit more methodical with it. I'm trying to take, more of my time. There he goes, taking some of my stocks with him. He took 4, man. Ichigo just does so much fucking damage with that shit. And I remember at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. We're pretty evenly matched. Just gotta see where we go from there. I use the evolution. What I will say about this game, it's all the animations. This game is super hype and it looks really fucking gorgeous, really. So at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's like I gotta take it, And there he missed right there. See, I'm trying to test the distance of the flames. He gets me right there. At this point, I was like, okay, he might have got me, and if he got me, that's game. Like, I was like, okay, like I either go all in with the cheese, go all out, or do something, Right there, he was getting me right there. I'm not gonna lie. Here, I was like, you know what? Let's just keep overwhelming him. And I was like, nope. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie. So I do this, finish him off right here. Well, there was a part of me that was 100% expecting for him to resurrect. And I do think, like, if he was able... Now, I don't know the conditions that need to be met in order for, him to, like, come back just like he did, like, in the last match. But in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, dude, if this dude comes back, like, I'm cooked. I'm cooked, Chad. And so we finally go to the third and final match. And at this point, it's stressful. I'm like, man, like, we've gone toe to toe. OP has shown me that he's definitely, a worthy opponent, a dude that is able to adapt. And, and he surprised me. Like I said, I'm real proud of him, man. He went fucking beast mode. And right here, I was like, oh no. Literally the face that Yama makes was my face when he did that shit. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Because that was one thing that I wasn't really able to master, as you can tell, like, really any of this match. Like, he kept fucking, doing, like, I know it's not called instant transmission, but whatever it's called in Bleach, but, like, the equivalent of it, where he's just, like, sidestepping and just, like, reappearing behind me and, like, parrying and shit. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? But at this point, I felt like, okay, the flames were kind of starting to get into him, as you could tell. See, like, right there, like, I'm doing the flames, but I'm also mixing them up with, like, some lighter, like, sword strikes right there. Oof, right there was good. He could have tried to finish me off right there. One thing that I did notice about him is that he didn't really, like, hold down, like, R2, like, right there. That was his first time doing it, and once I saw him do that, I was like, oh, okay. This match is gonna be a motherfucker right here. This is really what's gonna test me right here. Oh, right there, he sidestepped it, but then I was able to catch him with the flames. That was so wicked. I remember when I pulled that shit off, I was like, oh fuck, this is, like, was that purposeful? No, but I'll definitely take the credit for it. And then right here, I was like, okay, I got the advantage. But once he evolves, like, Ichigo gets stupid powerful once he does this shit. And so right here, I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, yeah, I'm not taking any risks. I'm like, I'm just poking and burning, That's all I'm doing right here, bro. And every time he would try to, like, go in, like, I would try to create, obviously, as you can see, I would definitely try to create some distance. I'm like, no, I'm not risking it. Right here, I don't remember if this is where I finish it off. Is it? I'm sorry, the animation just looks so fucking wicked every time. No, it was 2. I remember when I saw that shit, I was like, oh man, I was like, I still gotta endure more, bro. I was like, this, like, and then he does this shit right here, if I remember correctly. I want to say it takes 4. I think it takes 4 of them. Yeah. And at this point, I'm like, okay. And that's the thing about this game. Like, it's, like, you don't always know, like, how much, damage your opponent or yourself is going to do. I think there's a match later with Yamamoto that I do, like, 6 lives or 6 stocks worth of damage. And so when I saw the 4, I was like, look, I'm at 3. I can't risk this dude fucking whooping me. With this, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to overwhelm him with flames. And luckily for me, when he did that, I was like, oh no. Like, for me, at this point, I'm thinking, like, I have to end this as quickly as possible. And luckily, with that shit right here, I was able to. But at this point, I was expecting for him to res. He, in fact, did not. And so that was my very stressful match against OP.